Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. I have a very special guest today. It is Bobo, the baby bark boy. Come on, Bobo. Look at the camera. Look at him. He's adorable, isn't he? Isn't he great, everybody? Isn't he just the cutest little monster? This is his Christmas present. He loves it. It's great, but he's locked out of the bedroom right now, so my old lady can sleep. But he does not like that. He's very unhappy about that. So he's going to bark today. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You're going to bark, aren't you, Bobo? And Louie is underneath my feet. I don't know what he wants. Um, oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, you can go. Go chase the ball. Oh, hey, he's going nuts. He's going nuts. Oh, Louie wants to chase him. Okay. It's hard to get Louie on the screen. He does not like being on the screen, but he's coming back. He's coming back. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. There he is. He's big and fat. He's heavy. Oh, my goodness, Lou. Lou is very heavy. Okay, hi, Lou. How are you? Do you have any opinions? That is a different dog. Yeah, this is Lewis. His full name is Lewis P. Business. Because he is serious business. Okay, he's not he doesn't mess around. Ah, okay. Hi, yeah, Shinsinto, you did notice. Yeah, I got some wireless headset for Crimbus. It's very nice. Serious P business, yeah. The P in Lewis P business doesn't stand for anything. It's just an initial. It doesn't have a word associated with it. You know, it's a thing they used to do. Like Harry S. Truman. Did you know that about Harry S. Truman? The S doesn't stand for anything. It's just an S, just a letter, so that he would have a middle initial because you have to have a middle initial in America. So Lewis P business is it's just an initial. Uh, um, Yeah, and yeah, I got the headset and the last one I had, I don't know if you, I know it's riveting stream content, but the last headset, the wireless headset I got, crushed my big melon. It just crushed my dome. It was drilling into my head. So it wanted to the earphones wanted to meet in the center, and they were destroying my brain, crushing my skull, harming me very much. So I had to get rid of those, and then I got a different one, and they're white, and I'm not sure I love the color, but they do kind of match the background. I don't know. I'm very, what's the word? Self-conscious about my ears, and I don't want anyone to ever see my ears. Not really making that up. Uh, um, so yeah, how are you guys doing? How's your Christmas? Did you survive your relative's 90-degree house? Did you go to grandma's house and it was 90 degrees in there? Did you survive? That's the
Turn
thing
the
that always
friggin'
worries me.
frogs gay.
You turned a freaking frog. I'm proud of you, any of it. 7 months in a row. Show us the ears. Yeah, well, they're just normal ears. They're very hairy. I mean, they got hair on them on the outside, not the inside. On the outside. Um, so that's yeah. I have to be careful, not let anybody see them. 7 months in a row. That's a lot. Any of it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That means a lot to a tiny little streamer like me. My roommate got me some Cosmere. Oh, I love the Cosmere. It's a good time. I've read almost all of it, except for maybe the last two or three. I think I've done Sunlit Man, and that one was really good. Then the Nightmare Painter. Did I read the Nightmare Painter? No, I did not. I did not read the Nightmare Painter. I did. What was the one about the ships and the spores? I don't remember. But there was one about sailing on a ship. Oh, the tabletop. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I played that one time. It's complicated and difficult, and going to require a lot of RP. There's a lot more RP in there than in your typical D&D game. There really is. Trust in the Emerald Sea. That's the one. Yeah, I did read that one. But yeah, the RPG is going to have a lot of RP. I am slightly worried that it doesn't have a big bestiary, a bunch of crazy monsters to kill. That's my biggest complaint about it, really, is you're going to be fighting people, which means you're going to have to talk to them, which means you're going to have to role play, or you're going to be fighting your singers, your Parshendi, your Rosharan people, and you're going to have to talk to them. rather than fight them. And then they only have crabs and crustaceans to fight with at the moment, and that's about it. D&D cheats by stealing all mythology. I mean, you can fight a leprechaun, you can fight a fairy, you can fight a unicorn, you can fight a Chinese water demon, you can fight all of the elements, you can fight imaginary things, you can fight Mothman, you can fight just any dragon from Asian mythology or European mythology. You can fight things that were written about in Grimm's fairy tales. You can fight just anything in D&D, because a lot of it is or was open to interpretation and stuff like that. So you can just grab anything from any mythology anywhere and bring it into D&D, and that's good and that's fun. So a lot of those things that I mentioned wouldn't make much sense in the Cosmere. I mean, there are not a lot of leprechauns in there. People come in so many varieties. People parse the variety of spread, varieties of grace. So yeah, and that's good. But it's not all human mythology for eternity. The monster manuals are filled with hundreds of different races and religions, and it's all of human imagination crammed into like the monster manual. So they have that going for them. And then you're not wrong that there are a lot of different varieties, but any of the humans in the parse you're going to have to talk to, probably. So there is that. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, anywho, what is going on today? I think there's a dog barking, but yeah, it's still Christmas. It's I've got my Gromble, the Christmas gnome, back here riding shotgun with me. He is gonna be here for all of Christmas. And just in case you didn't know, in America, Christmas doesn't end until the end of January. So it is still Christmas. We still have the Krampus decorations up. All the decorations stay until the end of January, because Christmas starts the minute Halloween ends and doesn't end until February 1st. So we have the decorations. We have Grumble, the Christmas gnome, behind me, and he will stay until February 1st. So let's see what else. Yeah, did you guys survive? Did you go places? Did you go to your grandma's house? Did you survive the 90-degree weather inside her house? Did you eat bad food that your relatives made? Did you get gifts that you didn't want and then had to pretend to like, and all that fun stuff? Did you do all the things? Well, Malcini got a gift he did like. So yeah, there's that. That's what Krampus is all about, is getting something from your grandma that you don't need and don't want, or like you already have. And yeah, I do celebrate Christmas, just even though I'm an atheist and a leftist and stuff like that. You just sing different songs. It's a good time. You sing, you just do all the same things, but you sing different songs. Feliz Navidad is one of the atheist songs. I saw Mommy Kissing Karl Marx, very important song. All I Want for Christmas is Unionization. All the lefty classics. Got some new DCs and a French press. Ooh, French mess. I've been thinking about like an espresso machine. I know they make those now. Maybe I should get one of those. But do I like espresso? I don't. I mean, it's okay, but I do like a regular Americano, just donut shop coffee. That's cool. Then, so yeah, what else? In that same vein of the whole thing, I found a Christmas classic, Deck My Balls by Afro Man. Yeah, very exciting, very fun song. It sounds lovely. It sounds delightful and very Christmassy. But yeah, every year I think about Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, and it makes me depressed. So, like I said, as an atheist, leftist, cynical realist, I know that story is just wish fulfillment for powerless people, and it makes me sad. It's not all that different. The Christmas Carol with the three ghosts and whatnot, it's not all that different from an edgy anime about a bullied kid who gets isekai'd to another world where he has a cheat OP skill and a harem of hot cat girls, and all the bullies are taught a lesson, and his expertise at video games makes him the most important person in the world. That is a fantasy that makes us feel good. And it's a lot like the Christmas Carol. A rich and powerful Scrooge has no idea that he's doing bad things, but three ghosts simply show him the error of his ways, and he immediately changes. That's a fantasy that makes us feel good. The rich and powerful in reality know that they're doing bad things. They just don't care. And there's no such thing as ghosts. So if you actually wrangled a billionaire into a room and then forced them to see their crimes, they'd call it fake news, and they'd ignore it, and they'd pay some grifter to invent a new narrative that agrees with them. So yeah, it is wish fulfillment, and every time I see it, I'm like, I sure do wish that were real. I sure do wish that was correct. All for Christmas is unionization. Yeah, it's a good one. So yeah, isn't that his name, Charles Dickens, or is it Dickens' son? What is that man's name? Charles Dickens. Yeah, Dickens. I got it right. Wait, or is it Dickens? Yeah, it's Dickens. I got it right. You're making me think I got the name wrong, Melcidian. Trolling me. Yeah, it's Dickens. I thought it was Dickens' son. As I was saying it, and then I saw Melcidian type that, I was like, wait, is it Dickens' son? Oh, God. Did I just ruin everything? I have very little, what's the word? I don't even know what it's called. I have so little of it. Confidence. So it doesn't take much to steal it all away from me. But yeah, so yeah, if you're watching The Christmas Carol, just remember it's fantasy. There's no ghosts coming to tell Elon that he's a bad person. There's no ghost of future present that's going to swing into Jeff Bezos' house and convince him of all the wrong things he's doing. There is no ghost of Christmas future that's going to go into Donnie's house and make him feel like a regular human being. It's not real. We have to accept it as the realistic, cynical monsters that we are. To be a realist is to be miserable and masochistic. And so as the masochistic people that we are, we have to accept it. X-Men Days of Futures Past is not going to happen. It's also a fictional story. I wish it weren't. I wish that all the weirdos had superpowers and could teleport and disappear and read people's minds, but we can't. So with that misery out of the way, let's look at let's read all 1 million Epstein files in order. 1 million, there's a million Epstein files, Morty, burp, Morty, a million Epstein files, a million Epstein files forever, Morty, Epstein files forever, a million Epstein files forever, Morty, Rick and Morty, Epstein files forever. Let's read 1 million Epstein files. Officials discover 1 million more documents potentially related to the Epstein case. I thought they were exaggerating when I saw the thing. I can't stop reading until I read 1 million Epstein files. And Melcidian's right. Most of it will be redacted, so I can speed right through it. I don't have to actually read it. But yeah, I thought they were exaggerating. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was hyperbole. It's not. 1 million documents potentially related to Epstein case. Let's read about it. U.S. authorities have discovered more than 1 million more documents potentially related to the late pedophile Jeffrey Epstein that they plan on to release in the coming days and weeks. Officials said the FBI and federal prosecutors in New York informed the Department of Justice of the discovery. We have lawyers working around the clock to review and make these legally required redactions to protect victims, and we will release the documents as soon as possible, the DOJ said on Wednesday. So How did they not know about those files? They did know about those files. They're lying. Kash Patel is a moron and a liar. The photo over on my start screen. So where did it go? Where did the start screen go? Come on, Waldo. So the photo there, right in the center of the screen, you see that. Those are people. Those are grifters. Those are online shit posting liars. You see in the middle of the screen there. That photo was taken back in like February, almost a year ago. So like 10 months ago. They held up these binders. They're red binders originally. Somebody photoshopped them into being black because it's funny about the redactions. But those guys got the Epstein files several months ago from Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. It was nothing. It was a bunch of files that already existed in the public, and they could have gotten at any time. But it was bullshit from the lying grifters who run the government now. They wanted them to shut the fuck up already. Shut up already about those Epstein files. It was a gimmick to get votes. When Donnie talked about it on the campaign trail, it was a gimmick to get stupid people to vote for him. It was a trick. It was a MacGuffin. It was a campaign promise that he was never going to follow through on. And so once he got into office, they actually kept asking for it. Most of the stuff that he promised is nonsense. We've known it's nonsense, and nobody's pushing him on it. But this one, the right-wing QAnon fools really sunk their teeth into and held on to forever and ever. They held on to it for as long as they can. They still won't let go of it. It's all BS. It's much of a technically legal foot dragging. Yeah, give people the file to bribe Trump or remove them. Yeah, absolutely. Break out your Linux system with search tools like Grip Edge and do text search. Yeah, that's happening as well, Phil. A lot of people are doing that. So the info is still coming out. So yeah, these goobers got a bunch of files, and they were supposed to shut the hell up. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are lying grifters. They don't know how to run their organization. They're not qualified for the jobs that they have, and they just think that it's TV. They think that the government is just a group of people saying things and doing things into a camera. That's all they think it is. There's more to it than that. There's rules. There's laws. There's opinions. There's paperwork that you have to fill out. And they didn't know any of that. So when they released the Epstein files, they gave them all this bullshit and said, okay, great. They didn't know that there were more. They didn't know that the FBI had more stuff. And so how did they not know about the files, Philip? It's because they're morons. They're actually too stupid to be doing the job that they have. They don't know because they're idiots. They don't know how to do their job. Pam Bondi is not qualified for the position she holds, so she cannot do it well. Kash Patel is not qualified for the position that he holds, so he cannot do it properly. Dan Bongino knows he's not qualified and is quitting next month. 1 year into the thing, less than a year since he took the job, Dan Bongino's like, dude, this is hard. I have to fill out paperwork and shit. I have to sign things and read stuff and know things. Fuck that. I'm going to go be a podcaster where I don't have to know shit. And I appreciate that. I appreciate his honesty. How many hundreds of copies of people uploaded into the ChatGPT by this point? Well, there probably are a bunch of them. So, to be fair to Trump, he only ever said he would release them once the random podcast is clipped out of context. Well, he promised that he would do it, and he said he would do it, and then he said maybe, maybe not, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. But all his surrogates, all the people who voted for him, all the people who cheered him on, said that he was going to do it too. So yeah, you're right. A bunch of redactions were bypassed by uploading them. Yeah. So you can put them in Adobe, and you can copy and paste, and you can undo it. Now, is that because the FBI is staffed with idiots? Possibly. Or is it secret, underhanded people who are trying to undermine Donald Trump? It could go either way. It really could. Anybody with a brain quit the FBI when Donnie took over. Anybody with a brain got fired from the FBI when Donnie took over. Pam Bondi has fired so many people from the FBI that they can no longer function properly. The stupidity rolls downhill. So because she's a moron, anybody who disagrees with her gets fired. Anybody who has a brain and says, if I disagree with her, they're going to fire me, I might as well quit now. I think I read about that. There was just shocking numbers of people who left. Of FBI quitting. I remember reading about it. Oh, no, it was lawyers. DOJ. Lawyers leaving the DOJ. Here we go. Pow. A significant number of lawyers have left the DOJ since the beginning of Donald Trump's administration, 2005, with widespread resignations, firings, and buyouts, contributing to a major staffing crisis. An estimated 5,500 people, including thousands of experienced attorneys, have departed from the DOJ, while only a fraction of the vacancies have been filled. So 5,500 people have quit and left because they know he's full of shit. They know he's a liar. They know that Pam Bondi doesn't belong there. They know she's a liar. They know she's a criminal. They know she's a grifter. And they are going to weaponize, all of that incompetence at their enemies instead of doing good things for the American people. So they left. Those people did not want to be there any longer. And I don't blame them. If you know your boss is an idiot, you got to either get on board the idiot train or leave. That's all there is to it. And because they are incapable of doing the job, Pam Bondi is incapable of doing this job. She does not understand it. She cannot comprehend what is supposed to be done. And so they're failing. They're flopping around, completely unable to do the right things. I think what you mean is say that they're very disloyal. That's how Trump says it. Yeah. And he are the FBI agents putting this information out poorly because they're stupid? Maybe. Are they putting it out poorly on purpose because they are disloyal to Trump? Also maybe. Either way, I don't care. Incompetence or intentional sabotage, I'm down for it. Let's do it. The FBI is difficult to trust on even under a good administration. They're difficult to trust. And now that they're being directed by an incompetent like Pam Bondi, they make it even harder to trust. Are they crooked or are they just stupid? It's hard to tell anymore. And so let's keep reading. Sorry, I was styling the 5K quitting employees as disloyal. Oh, yeah. They're disloyal. Yeah. The department said you could take a few more weeks before all of the files are released. The DOJ has been under scrutiny after not releasing Epstein files by the 19 December deadline mandated under the new law. The agency said it would continue to fully comply with federal law and President Trump's direction to release the files. Well, they say that all the time, but they're full of shit, and no one can hold them accountable. That's the problem. There are no accountability. There is no consequences or repercussions for you breaking the law anymore if you are in charge of the government. They will continue to fully comply with the federal law and President Trump's direction to release the files, except that they don't, and they won't, and then there's nothing you can do to stop them from lying. There's nothing you can do to stop them from complying. They say that all the time. They say things that are just nonsense. Oh, we're fully transparent. No, you're not. You're literally not. You can say, I will comply with the law, and then not do the law. Who's going to stop them? The DOJ? They are the DOJ. And anybody with a brain left them. So the news comes after the Justice Department released thousands of documents, some heavily redacted, related to the investigations of Epstein. The department has been releasing the documents in batches, and top officials have said hundreds of thousands of documents are still to be released. So the files were released after Congress passed the Epstein files, blah, 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 blah. Every day we see lies, incompetence, and misleading headlines and illegal redactions, Representative Robert Garcia said in a statement. The law passed by Congress and signed last month by Trump states that names and information that might be embarrassing or cause reputational harm are not allowed to be redacted. So, yeah, transparently corrupt. the you can't hold them responsible. Representative Robert Garcia here is doing and saying the good things and the right things, but he can't hold them responsible unless he votes to impeach Pam Bondi, which they should do immediately. They should be doing that the minute they get back, immediately. When the House gets back into session in January, mid-January or some shit like that, because they don't actually work very hard. He should bring up impeachment of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel both, and they should vote on it. And that will give Donnie a scapegoat. Is this a good political move? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to tell. Donald will use every failure of anyone to prove that he is not a failure. So if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel get brought up for impeachment, the Dems will all vote for it, hopefully. I mean, honestly, there's a bunch that won't because they're wieners and they don't ever want to hold a politician responsible because then they're politicians and someday somebody might hold them responsible. So it could go that he brings it up, somebody puts it forward, and it fails even in the House, but because 15 Democrats won't vote for it. Possible. As I'm not a huge fan of the Democrats. I wish they were further left. I wish they held and did the things that they say that they're going to do. I wish they were further left, and I wish they actually had principles. They don't. Trump will throw his closest ally under the bus if it serves him. Yes, he will. So if all the Democrats grow a spine and vote to get rid of Pam Bondi, to impeach Bondi and Kash. Sounds like a buddy cop movie, doesn't it? Bondi and Kash. He's a Indian immigrant. It's sort of like Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, how they had the buddy cop movie. We could do Bondi and Kash. It'll be a good time. Kash Patel could do it in an Indian accent. Do you understand the words that I am saying? You know, be a fun time, maybe. Then, the hell. Okay, so the Democrats all vote. Let's imagine for a minute good things happening. I know it's hard to do, but imagine good things happening. Bondi and Kash are both brought up on post no jail. Yeah. Then they're brought up on impeachment charges and whatnot. They broke this law. They've been lying about this stuff in the past. Kash Patel has literally lied to Congress. He has literally lied to Congress. We know that for a fact now. He said there are no more files to be released. Here's 1 million more. First of all, and then he said there were no other co-defendants or co-conspirators. There are 10 more, at least. So he has lied specifically to Congress. They can impeach him for that. And then they might vote to impeach him. If the House does, the Senate probably shuts it down, says no. Maybe, if we are still imagining good things, the Senate passes it. And it passes the Senate, and they get rid of Kash Patel because they want someone to suffer. They want to blame somebody who isn't Donald Trump. He might throw Kash Patel under the bus. He might say, this guy is bad. He did a bad job. He's, the bark boys are squeaking. He has done a terrible job. He has not released them. He hasn't done it right. He keeps redacting things. I want the truth, and I'm the most transparent president ever. So we're going to get rid of Kash Patel. And he will tell the Senate Republicans to vote to impeach him. He gets impeached. And then Donnie will come out and say, it's over. Epstein files, they're done. We did it. We released them all, and we got rid of bad Kash Patel. Kash Patel, bad guy. Very low IQ, Kash Patel. We got rid of him, and we're going to replace him with somebody else. That distracts them, and it slows down their operations. So I'm thinking that it's fine. It's a good thing that Democrats should do and would benefit the entire country politically and literally, as the FBI would have to put someone more qualified. They can't put someone less qualified than Kash Patel. They can't. They literally can't. I could pick any one of you out of chat and you would do a better job than Kash Patel. You would. He is a podcaster, but if I gave that job to anybody else in the world, they would look at it, they would panic, and they would start studying. Like if they chose me tomorrow, I would go to the internet and I would start studying what the FBI does and how to do it and how to do a good job. He didn't do any of that. He already knows everything. So if you are willing to learn new stuff and to expand your brain to fill a role, then you'd be better off than Kash Patel, who already knows all the answers and has lied to you constantly. So it is good to replace him. They should replace him. They should try to impeach him. They should try to impeach Pam Bondi right now as well, as soon as they get back from their very long vacation that they get to have while you pay them with your tax money. But yeah, and that would slow down their operations, because the FBI is not doing good things for people. The FBI is diverting their resources towards chasing around innocent immigrants in the country. They're helping ICE. They're helping the people to do the bad things, to do the wrong things. Are you saying dumb confidence can only take you so far? Yeah, absolutely correct. Maybe it's good that he's an idiot. He might get someone who's better and more low tip. But anybody more intelligent than Kash Patel is going to be less likely to lie to you, I think. He's a moron, but he can't make the FBI function properly. If anybody more qualified than him, would they lie better? I don't know. I don't think you can be a better liar for fascism. A more competent fascist, is that what you're worried about? Any of it? I get that, but anybody more competent, I think, would be less fascist. And that's, maybe I'm an optimist. Comey, we knew not what we had. Yeah, exactly. Comey was boring, and he was going by the rules, and he was more by the book than Kash Patel. And even if you get more by the book to replace him, it would still be a little bit better than shoot from the hip, don't know what the rules are, don't know what the laws are, don't know how the place operates. Fascism. We've got stupid fascism right now, and maybe we would get at worst, we would get competent fascism. Is that better? I don't know, man. They might follow the law more often. They might not tell you what the rules and the laws aren't. I don't know. Competent fascism is slightly more dangerous, but also more controllable at the same time. Kash Patel walks into a boxing match with a nut shot. Yeah, exactly. He would be like, "Hey, let's box." Pow, punch right below the belt. You know, he's doing it wrong. He's kicking you in the balls during the boxing match. Doesn't make any sense. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's there for. He doesn't know what the rules are. He doesn't know what the laws are. He doesn't know what the hell is happening. Would a competent boxer be more dangerous? Yes and no. So I think they should still do it, because it'll slow them down, because then the new person will have to get confirmed by the Senate. I think FBI has to be confirmed by the Senate. I know the head of DOJ does. So they would have to fight those fights. They would have to get acting people who don't have all the power and all the rules, and they would have to go through a thing, and it would be a circus. But that circus would distract them from doing the bad things that they're doing now. That circus would distract them from rounding up innocent migrants. That would stop them from helping ICE to find these people. It would stop them from doing anything insane. And that would be good. I would like that. I would like them to stop doing bad stuff. I would like them to stop doing insane things. And if we have to impeach them to do that, maybe we'll impeach somebody else every week, and it'll slow them down. Won't somebody think of ICE? Yeah, I know. Won't somebody please think of ICE? So yeah, let's see what else is on the thing. Let's see more about the files. Do we have more? Do we have more? There's always more. There's a million more. Oh, hey, look, here is a really nice description of what the FBI is doing right now. Another friend was one of the many girls that had sexual relations with blank. Blank, she confided in me about their casual friendship with blank blank. Definitely seemed to have a thing for her, and she told me how he kept going on how he liked her pert nipples blank. Here it is, unredacted. Another friend was one of my many girls that had sexual relations with Donald Trump. She confided in me about her casual friendship with Donald Trump. Mr. Trump seemed to have a thing for her, and she told me how he kept going on about how he liked her pert nipples. Donald Trump like flicking and sucking her nipples. Gross, I know. But this is the redactions that the FBI is doing right now. They're redacting his name, and we know it blatantly. Obviously, we know for a fact that they are blanking out Donald Trump's name from these things for political reasons. They don't want his name being mentioned, so they are blanking it out. They're not redacting the... Well, they might be redacting some of the victims, but they are definitely redacting Donald Trump's name. And that is not acceptable. That is not why they passed that damn law, and they're going to get sued over it. And that right there might be enough to get Kash Patel impeached, and maybe Pam Bondi too, because she's in charge of the DOJ. It should get them impeached. It should get them removed from the stuff, and it should get people to stop supporting Donald Trump, but it won't, because they don't care. They don't believe. They are true believers, and it doesn't matter to them anymore. A person who used to risk women for sex doesn't know how to treat them. Yeah, I know. It does. It does. So he's definitely in the files, and we know he is. And let's see. Here he is talking about the million. Now 1 million more pages on Epstein are found. DOJ is being forced to spend all of its time on this Democrat-inspired hoax. So more is found, and the DOJ is being forced to spend all its time on this thing that isn't real. When do they say no more and work on election fraud? Election fraud isn't real, Donnie. It's not fucking real. It didn't happen. It never did. These 1 million pages are real. Some of it might be lies or slander, but you have to determine which one is and isn't. The Dems are the ones who worked with Epstein. Literally, we have him on photo. We have photos of him hanging out with him. We know he is his best friend, and we know we have video of them partying together. Not the Republicans. Release all of their names, embarrass them, and get back to helping our country. The radical left doesn't want people talking about Trump and Republican success. Only long ago dead Jeffrey Epstein. Just another witch hunt. So it's a hoax, but we have to release it so that the Dems can be really hurt by it and embarrassed by it, but not him. He's never met Epstein. He doesn't know who it is. It wasn't any Republicans, and it's just another witch hunt, and it's a hoax, and it's real, and it's not real. The man is out of his goddamn mind, and the FBI is working to protect him from the things that he is saying. It drives me fucking nuts, man. None of this makes any sense if you pay attention to it. If you have a brain, you know that he is a liar. You know that he is a criminal. You know that he cannot be trusted. But half the fucking country still supports him. Maybe not less than half. A third still supports him because they don't have brains. That's all there is to it. They willingly and intentionally want him to be in charge because they hate you, because they hate the immigrant, because they hate the Democrats, because they hate the liberals, because they hate the woke-haired blue people, the blue-haired woke people. They hate them. And he also hates who they hate, so they support him. So they repeat whatever horse shit he says because they want to hurt the people they don't like. Donald promises to hurt the people conservatives don't like. That is his draw. That is why they will never abandon him. That's why they will never stop supporting him. That's why they will never stop voting for him. Even if it's illegal to vote for him, they will complain that it ought to be illegal to vote for him. And they will write him in. There will be millions of write-ins for Donald Trump's name in the next election. Even if he is or isn't running, it'll be there. Because he hurts the people they hate. There is no conservatism. There is no ideology behind it. He hurts the people they hate. That is it. There's no, anything Ben Shapiro or what's his name, Charlie Kirk says is imaginary verbiage to get them to the point that they wanted anyway. Hurt the people we hate. Hurt the people we hate. Send those brown people out of the country. Send the what was their the not Nigerians. Who are the people in Michigan? The Somalis. Send the Somalis out of the country. Get rid of them. We hate them. Get rid of them. He doesn't have any. Yeah, he doesn't have any guilt. No, not at all. Epstein is dead. He's dead. Why is he still a problem? Yeah, I wonder if Epstein visited Trump and he goes to the crystal dust. Yeah, that would make sense. But then Donnie would just tell him it's fake news and not to pay attention to him. So yeah, it's all about Hitler would be his Christmas future. Yeah. But Donald would love those ghosts to come and tell him what he's doing wrong. He'd be like, yeah, fake news. It's great. Here's all the stuff that when I was happy in the past, wasn't it terrible? He would take all the wrong lessons. The ghost of Christmas past would come to Donald, and he would show him how happy he was as a kid or something like that. And he'd be like, "What a stupid idiot! He's not even making any money. How's he getting any Bitcoin out of this?" And then the ghost of Christmas present would show him all the people that he's hurting today, and he'd be like, "Yes, excellent." He would love it. He would see the starving people that he's hurting and cheer. And then he would see the future where people are pissing on his grave, and he'd be like, ha 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 ha, I won. I totally trolled them so hard. I trolled them as best I could. Nobody can stop me. I'm the best troll. Look at my name on the memorial. Look at my name on the Lincoln Trump memorial. He is expecting a memorial, by the way. He's already put his name on top of the JFK memorial, but he's going to put his name on the Abraham Lincoln memorial, the Trump and Abraham Lincoln memorial, and then he's going to expect a bigger memorial to be built for him when he dies. And his followers are probably going to try. They're going to build one that's even bigger. Even if it has to be unofficial, they will build something bigger than the Lincoln Memorial. He would see starving people and tell them, "You're really very nasty people, maybe the worst." Yeah, he would not learn anything from those ghosts, which is why it's a fictional story that's a lot like Isekai. It is a fictional story that makes us feel good, and I can't appreciate it. So what the hell else was I supposed to look at today? Oh, yeah. Let's keep going with this. See if there's any more links. Let's see. They threatened to burn her. Why you don't know more about Epstein's victims. So let's read this from Raw Story. As the DOJ releases the largest batch of files yet on the federal investigation at Epstein, we look at some of the most significant revelations with investigative and journalist Vicky Ward, who has spent decades reporting on the deceased sexual predator, his powerful associates, and the impact of the crime. Survivors have condemned the Justice Department for not complying with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which required all the files be released last Friday. And this is all I didn't read. Christ almighty, this is long. I can't read, you guys. Was there anything important down here? No, this is just a thing. But you can go to Raw Story and read about the victims. I don't really want to hear about the victims, but what is this? Redacted, the real Epstein list. So this guy thinks that he's got more of the names figured out. A survey of the rich and powerful individuals who elevated Jeffrey Epstein, hired him, funded him, enabled him, and befriended him, and or partook of his services. So this guy is telling you that he's trying to name the co-conspirators. Alan Greenberg. We knew about that, didn't we? The head of Bear Stearns, now defunct investment bank. He also died in 2014, so we're going to move on. Edgar M. Bronfman. He died in 2013. Son of a bitch. All these guys are dead. Sir Douglas Leese died in 2011. A British businessman. Great. Stephen Hoffenberg died in 2022. That seems to be the only way out of it. Donnie, listen to me. Donald, the only way out is to die. You're allowed to die whenever you want, Donald. You can die whenever you feel like it. And that's the way out. I'm not going to do it for you. What else we got? Adnan Khashoggi died in 2017, a Saudi arms dealer. Prince Andrew, still alive. We already knew about him, but he'd been kicked out of his royalty. He's not royal anymore. So they took away the thing that he liked, but he still gets to like live in a palace away from all the people. Robert Maxwell died in 1991. Ehud Barak, 1942, and he's still alive. He's old as fuck. Former defense minister and prime minister who reportedly visited Epstein in New York, Florida, and Virgin Islands. Never heard of him. Probably important. Yeah, he's just Andrew now. I said, you're right. He's just Andrew. Alan Dershowitz, who is still alive and was Epstein's attorney and is definitely a very bad guy. He is a nightmare monster criminal who should be shunned all the time. We should never let him forget, and we should ignore him forever. Anyone who says Alan Dershowitz isn't a creepy, disgusting pedo should be ignored. He is a bad guy, and he should be in jail for the things that he has done. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for the things that she has done. And Bill Clinton, we know about him. There's not been any charges. The former president availed himself of the girls in Epstein's entourage. The Filthy Rich documentary makes no such allegations. To the contrary, on the other hand, Clinton wasn't just on the Lolita Express for that humanitarian trip to Africa. He flew on Epstein's private jet a lot, and he claims never to have visited the Little St. James, but the telecom worker interviewed in the documentary insists he saw Clinton on Epstein Island. So if he has done anything, find him, find the evidence, try him, and put him in jail. Bill Richardson died in 2023. RFK Jr., hooray, he's still alive. Can we get him in jail too? He knew Epstein well enough that he traveled with him and Ghislaine on the Lolita Express to the Dakotas on a hunt for dinosaur bones. Christ, of course he did. RFK Jr. has made no secret of his association with Epstein. The new photos have circulated of the two men at various fundraisers and other events, but that's all. There's no evidence against him so far. Leon Black, I don't know who this is a private equity billionaire and former head of Apollo Financial Management who availed himself of Epstein's estate planning, tax, and philanthropic advice to reportedly save over $1 billion on his tax bill. For the child sex trafficker and Ponzi schemer's sage tax avoidance expertise, Black paid Epstein $170 million, a sizable chunk of change, but with an enormous return on investment. Okay, so he paid this guy a bunch of money. Let's investigate him. Let's figure out what he did, if he did anything wrong. And then this is his secret letter that said, Maxwellian delight, a mother's treasure, great joy, most assuredly Harvardian patron, brain researcher for extending wannabe outrageous, iconoclastic, unconventional, spirit-free, best of all, dear. They're all incompetent. They're all bad at writing things. If you looked at the letters and the poetry and stuff like that, this is why they need AI. This is why the billionaires are pushing for AI, because they are stupid. They can't write. They can't form sentences properly. They invent words, and they're terrible. The verbal hand jobs. Yeah. He's giving him a verbal hand job, but badly. He needs AI to write it for him. Hey, Grok, write a verbal hand job to Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, and it failed. They did a terrible job. They're awful at everything that they do, and so they need AI to write for them. That's what's up. Let's keep reading though. Jess Staley, I don't know who that is, but he's old. He's the banker I talked about. So he's probably should be investigated as well. Sergei Belyakov, 1976 question mark. We don't know. Oh no, we're not sure when he was born. An old FSB hand, a deputy minister for the economic development and head of the organization that runs St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. So he works for Putin for sure. Sergei Belyakov. He's one of those oligarchs. He's a Russian oligarch. We don't know when he was born, but we do know that he takes money from Putin and gives it to whoever does Putin bidding. So that was probably Jeffrey Epstein. I'm telling you, man, Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. He took money from everybody and sold secrets to anybody that would give him money. Les Waxner, he was born in 1937. He's old as shit and is probably a pedophile. Straight up seduced Wexner, the billionaire owner of Limited Victoria's Secret. He owned Victoria's Secret and Abercrombie & Fitch and other fashion concerns. Certainly Jeffrey was a charming guy, and as malignant narcissists can often be. For his part, Wexner provided Epstein with cash. He famously gifted him the fancy Manhattan townhouse next door to Howard Lutnick's place and the short walk from Woody Allen's. An alibi for his fortune came from an inn with teenage girls who wanted to be models. It's unclear whether Wexner was aware that his friend was up to, although Jeffrey routinely traded on the Victoria's Secret name to woo his victims. So Wexner has a lot of accusations against him as well of sexual assault and stuff like that. Jean-Luc Brunel, who's been dead since 22, but he is definitely a bad guy. Like, he's been a notorious creep. He is known to the state of California to have done very evil things. A notorious creep with a reputation for sexually abusing would-be models. Here's one such account by a model in New Zealand. He actually did sexual assault. He's been found guilty, and then he killed himself in 2022. And he was good friends with Jeffrey Epstein as well. So, yeah, awful. And Donald Trump, as everybody knows. So there's his poem and his pube signature. That's why he does it like that, because he thinks it's funny. Ace Greenberg, 1976, the Bear Stearns CEO, was so busy running a company that he'd only retained a single private client to just one special guy, and the money he managed exclusively. So Ace Greenberg knows where all the money is coming from and going to, and he should be investigated. We should figure out what he knows about all this stuff. So yeah, that is actually maybe a list of people. And we should investigate these people. We should chase around their money and find out where their money came from and where it went. And I think that is it for the Epstein files today. We will keep looking at it as stuff pops up. As more stuff comes up, we will check it out. And if the shoes actually drop, if the big news actually happens, the happening actually happens, we will talk about it. And it's not going away. A million new documents. Dude, Epstein forever, Trump and Epstein forever, Trump and Epstein for a million years. Trump and Epstein will be the thing we're talking about for the next few months. I said this a couple of weeks ago when it finally actually, on December 19th, when it actually happened. We will never stop hearing about this. It will be 2035 and we will still be hearing about a new cache of documents that the FBI has found about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't want my country to be a sanctuary for pedophiles and government corruption. Well, too bad. It always has been. The spaceman meme. It always has been. Rich, powerful people think that they don't have to follow the law or the rules. The King of England didn't think that he had to follow the rules or the laws. He could do whatever he wanted. And we had a whole revolution about it. And then after all the people who fought in that revolution died, it started again. But with a Senate this time instead of a House of Lords, and a House of Representatives instead of a House of Commons, you know? So it's always going to happen. It's always going to be that way. It's always been that way, Mel City, and I'm sorry. Spaceman meme. It always has been. So the people with power and authority and money and don't want to follow the rules. They never have, and they never will have to. If you set up a system properly, maybe they can be held somewhat responsible, but even then, lawyers get paid to lie. You know, if you have enough money, you can pay a lawyer to lie for you. You can. That's how it works. But it takes a lot of money. Hopefully, and it's always going to be that way. People with more money, more authority, more power in a capitalist system will always have more power and authority. Legal forfeit. Yeah. But yeah, it's not going away. It's going to be around forever. Donnie can't get past it. We will still be talking about it forever. He's still trying to redirect, as you saw in his little tweet there, trying to redirect towards actual crimes, which are the voter fraud of 2020, which didn't happen. And that is conservatism. I know I talked about fantasy earlier today, but that is the conservative fantasy. Everything that they don't like is they believe. They're believers, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm going off script right here, but they're believers. They believe that Donald is right and good and proper and everything he's doing is true, and they believe that the Dems are the evil ones, and they believe that the left is censoring them, and they believe that the right is protecting free speech. And none of it's true. It doesn't have to. You can show them evidence that none of that is true, but they won't care. That's fake news. They'll believe whatever the fuck they want. You're not allowed to change Americans' beliefs. And this is the segue into the next segment. Ooh, look how I did that. He'll have a pedophile engraved on his headstone. His headstone will be hidden. He will be so far away from anybody ever getting anywhere near him, because people would just come and piss on his grave all day. I would piss on his grave. It would be fun, and he would carve. Someone would write that on the headstone, and so it'll have to be hidden, secret knowledge. No one will know where it's at, and he'll be in under his grave will have security, so that I can't piss on it. Yeah, in the belly of a mountain, away from the sunlight. Yeah, that's fine. But that leads us to the next thing to talk about. Did you see this insane, stupid crap story about this dumb girl? So there's a girl. She's dumb. She was given a college assignment at Oklahoma University, and she wrote 2 + 2 = Jesus. And then she failed. That is what really happened. She was given an assignment. She did a bad job and got a bad grade, but that hurts her rights. Let's listen to what she has to say about the actual thing, because I've got that on. Wait, hang on. Where'd it go? Shit. I had it ready. Where'd it go? She said she did a bad job intentionally. Not intentionally, but she did say that she did a bad job. Ah, geez. Waldo, you failure. You absolute loser. You had the thing ready. Now I've lost it. I have to go back into my thing and find my likes and go back to the thing that I saw. Hold on. Hang on with me. Hang on. There it is. Okay, here we go. So she did a bad job. You guys can't hear that, can you? Let me fix the audio real quick. Oh, you did hear that. I didn't hear it because my headphones died. No, there had been no sound in such a long time that my headphones died. So this girl did a bad college job, and she got a bad grade, and that is apparently illegal. Let's hear what she has to say.
Was it hard for you to come up with the things that you wanted to say?
Not at all. I was actually just telling this story earlier. I was at my good friend. I was at her house, and we were about to go to a musical that OU was putting on, or a play. And I was like, oh, I have to do this assignment really quick. It'll just take a second. And then I read the topic, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so easy. I have a very strong opinion on this topic. And then I wrote it in maybe 30 minutes. It was really easy for me to come up with things to say.
She spent 30 minutes and has a very strong opinion. She wasn't asked for her opinion. She was asked to read an article and cite things that agree or disagree with it. She is studying psychology. She is giving her opinion. She is a University of Oklahoma student studying psychology, says that the failing grade she received on an essay where she cited the Bible was a violation of her rights to free speech. In her essay, which was a response to an article about how people are perceived based on the societal expectations of gender, that's what she's supposed to be writing about. The perceptions based on societal expectations of gender. She has a very strong opinion on this, and it's all about Jesus. Samantha Folnicki is her name, wrote the traditional gender roles should not be considered stereotypes. According to an earlier Oklahoma report, she cited the Bible to support her stance that eliminating gender in society would be detrimental because that would put people farther from God's original plan for humans. Right, she didn't cite the Bible. She just cited what she felt about the Bible. Feelings, beliefs. is what she put into this thing, and then she got a bad grade. She got a 0. But the person who gave her that bad grade was a trans person. And that trans person needs to be punished, according to the Oklahoma University. And they did. They fired that trans person for giving her a bad grade. Because that's all that matters anymore. Your opinions, man. We don't live in a world of facts and logic any longer. We live in opinions and beliefs. That is what matters to these people. That is what matters to her. Telling her her opinion is wrong is a crime. Telling her her belief is wrong might get you killed. She received 0 points out of 25 on the essay. The instructor said Fulnicki failed to use empirical evidence and called parts of her essay offensive because it was. Fulnicki noted the assignment did not require students to cite empirical evidence and says she believes UO policy protects free speech. See, again, she believes the rules. Again, conservatives are ruled by their beliefs, not facts, not logic, not a reading and understanding of words, but a belief. Belief is all that matters to them. Belief is all they have. They believe the law protects them. They believe that the Constitution says that they're allowed to do whatever they want. They believe that the Constitution tells them that they're allowed to have special privileges. They believe that Hitler did nothing wrong. They believe Donald Trump when he lies to them. They believe Pam Bondi is qualified for her job. They believe that America is a Christian white nation. They believe it. And you can't change their mind with facts. You cannot change their mind with fake news. You cannot change their minds because they have a belief. And if you try and change their belief, they might shoot you. There's nothing more powerful to an American than belief. And that is a bad way to live. Yeah, and their beliefs don't have to match what the Bible says. No, they'll just believe something else. They believe that the Bible says that Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You know, they believe whatever the fuck they want. They believe that Jesus agrees with them in their hatred. They hate trans people, and they believe Jesus did too. To be what I think is clearly discriminated against for my beliefs and using freedom of speech, and especially for my religious beliefs, I think that is absurd. She is a baby brain. If you read the thing, it's actually very bad. Like, it is incredibly poorly written. This article was very thought-provoking and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender and role it plays in our society. Remember, she wrote this in 30 minutes. The article discussed peers using teasing as a way to enforce gender norms. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. So it's okay to tease people. It's okay to shame people. Not her, though. Not her. Not her. No, no, no. I can't tease her, or else I am hurting her First Amendment, you see. God made male and female and made us different from each other on purpose and for a purpose. God is very intentional with what he makes, and I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes. Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. That is her college essay. That is her college psychology assignment that she turned in. 2 + 2 = Jesus. And when the person in charge told her she was wrong, the person grading got fired because the person grading is real, is intelligent, and has a brain. The teacher asked her to think about a topic and deliver a nuanced response. She sped through it in 30 minutes. Stream of consciousness writing. Yeah, exactly. She gets a low grade as a 5th grade English class. Yeah, exactly. She is a failure. Samantha is a failure at college. But college isn't to educate people anymore. No, 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 no. You see, we're all still thinking about this from what college used to be. College is not allowed to teach anything true about correct about gender any longer because whiny crybaby Christians will piss their pants and sue them, causing the college to lose money. And that is why colleges exist now. They don't exist, no, to educate you or make the world a more thoughtful place? Money, 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 SpongeBob. SpongeBob, it's all about the money. See, the cold, hard cash. It's all about the money, SpongeBob. They don't exist to educate you. Samantha is not a student of that college. Students' beliefs are challenged. Students are expected to adapt their ignorance into enlightenment under the guidance of experts. She is no student. She is a customer. She brings her money to the college and they sell her a degree. And then, as the old saying goes, the customer is never wrong. The customer is always right. So she gets to say that 2 + 2 is Jesus. She gets to say that now. She gets to say that her psychiatry degree is totally valid because she paid for it. Gender is girls doing girl stuff, but Samantha, what about the girls who don't like doing girl stuff? That's wokeism, any of it. That's woke. You're not allowed to talk about that. So your family paid money for their prestige. Yeah, money was paid. She gets to say that she went there for the rest of her life. Yeah, she paid them. She is a customer. She gets to have her degree. And if she wants 2 + 2 to equal Jesus, then it does. That's all there is to it. The colleges aren't about education any longer. They are about degrees and they're about making money. This isn't because of leftist wokeism. This is because capitalism. The people who own the colleges need more money this year than they made last year. They need that line to go up. College is now just a different form of stock market. They need that line to go up. They need more money from the government. They need more money from the students. They need more people, and they need them to show up, and they need them to not quit. Okay? They need to get all that money as soon as possible and then give them the degree no matter what they write, no matter how stupid they are. And a minute ago, I put air quotes around the word Christian because these people are Christian in name only, chinos. CHINO, Christian in name only. Sort of like dinos, like Democrats in name only, or rhinos, Republicans in name only. They're pretending to be religious because in America, that gives you extra rights. They get to be a higher class citizen and use those extra rights as a cudgel to enforce their political views. And that's exactly what this is. Don't get it twisted. This is not a religious persecution story. This is a political story. The entire Christian religion became a political tool in the 1980s. Everything is political. Everything. She wrote a bad paper in 30 minutes based on her opinions and beliefs, not facts and logic. She got a bad grade. And as I've said several times in the past, you are not allowed to tell an American that their opinions or beliefs are wrong. They attack you for that. And that is what's happened, is they attacked this college. They attacked this person. This girl, what's her name? Samantha, is going to get her degree. She's going to have a free ride for the rest of her time in college because of this. She is going to lie and spend more time telling you that Jesus is the reason for her, and she's going to ride this for as long as she can to get a degree. Then she's going to go become a right-wing grifter. That's what she's going to do. That's her job now. She now has the ticket to wealth. Be an online grifter. Sort of like that girl who swam against a trans woman and is now on Fox News every week, pissing and moaning. She has a podcast, Riley Gaines, that's her name. And she is way more popular than I am. She lies to people constantly, all day, every day, and exploits the one time she got 5th in a contest instead of 4th in that contest because there was a trans woman that was better than her. And she gets to be wealthy. She gets to be on TV. She gets to have a podcast with millions of viewers and stuff like that who pay her to lie to them. Samantha Fulnecki is on that track now. She is going to lie about all the rest of her assignments for the rest of the time she is in college. She's going to put 2 + 2 is Jesus on every single damn thing that she has for the rest of her college career. And when she graduates, she will go do media training with somebody like Ben Shapiro, some network of hard right-wing grifters. We'll teach her how to talk into a camera because she doesn't know right now. She said every other word in that interview, and that's sad. But that can be overcome, and she will get better. Then she will be media trained. She will start a podcast. She will start a YouTube channel. She will be far more influential than I ever will be by lying. And she will claim that she was persecuted. She was harmed by the liberal elites at the college. And you shouldn't go to college. You should be dumber. You shouldn't go to college. You should go, if you do have to go to college. Just like Ben Shapiro said, give them whatever answers they want so that you can get the degree. And you don't actually have to learn anything. Don't learn anything from college. No. You already know the answers. As a conservative, you already know all the answers. But the leftists own all the colleges, and all the liberal professors won't give you a passing grade if you don't write the liberal slop. So you have to write it. You know it's untrue. You know it's a lie. You know it's bullshit, but you write it anyway so you can get the degree, so you can get a college education. You can get the degree, and then you can get your job, and then you could go onto the internet and tell everybody that it was a scam. They want you dumber. Conservatives want you to be stupider. They want their people who go to college to be dumber. They want you to not know anything. They want you to believe rather than know. They want you to not know stuff. They want you to believe whatever they tell you, whatever slop they throw at you. They want you to eat up and accept. Samantha here, just like Riley Gaines and Ben Shapiro, are going to have a long career of lying to people. Lies that make them feel better. Lies that make the people feel good. If you will lie to people to make them feel good, you have a career ahead of you. You do. There will be someone to pay you for it. As long as you're at least halfway competent in front of a camera, someone will pay you for it. And if you can't get in front of a camera, if you write it, you still might make some money. You could write for one of these TV shows. Or you could write for a YouTuber who can willingly lie to people. You can go become a prosperity gospel preacher. You can write stuff for them to talk about, and they'll give you a little bit of money. You can go become a online preacher or something like that. Tell people the beautiful lies that make them feel better. You could write right-wing fiction about how the liberals are keeping you down. You know, you can go become an author of right-wing books, and somebody will pay you for it. Reality is against them, but they're winning. They are winning the fight against reality, and it makes me miserable. She tied fifth place with three other girls that were better than her. Yeah, exactly. The moment is setting precedent for the rest of her life. Yeah, it is. You just got back from Jupiter. All right. Now you're going to tell me to go back to get more stupider. Yep. Scanning the Epstein drop number 8 and getting an error about reading. Oh, well, that's too bad, Philip. Grifter industrial complex. That is the future of the American economy, is that we all have to do a job in a factory where we're getting injured by machinery and stuff like that because the owners don't accept the safety regulations. That is what Trump wants for you. That is the future he envisions for you. Working in a factory while listening to a right-wing grifter in your headphones, and you're doing factory work and possibly losing a finger because of the lax safety regulations. You'll be injured while you're listening to them, and you make very little money, and then you take it home to your religious wife who spends half of it on the church, and then you have so many more babies, white babies, that can work in the factory. And the wealthy own everything. They own your house, they own the business, they own all the profits that you make from the factory. They own all the things, and you will be forced through these grifters lying to you to hate the immigrant, hate the people of a different race, and never unify, never come together. Class warfare is what they are bringing you, and it will never end. But that finger was keeping you a woke woman. Now you're a man with less of a hand. Yeah, I know. Could be. But Shinseto, you might be the next billionaire. Maybe. Not likely. You're not a temporarily embarrassed millionaire. You are a prole. You're with a working class, and there's class warfare is happening at you all day, every day, and we're losing. The grifter economy will only make everything in this country worse. The AI that's coming is going to be owned by billionaires and aimed at your face, and you won't be able to know what's real. Half of the Epstein files are being called AI. Half of the stuff that's coming out there is going to be claimed to be fake news written by an AI. The reality is going to become so scarce in the next few years, and nobody's going to pay for it. It might exist, and you might be able to find some of it, but nobody's going to pay you for it. Nobody's going to pay money for reality. It's all the comforting lies. It's all the pleasant bullshit that is going to make money. Samantha here is going to be a grifter. She's going to tell pleasant lies and be paid for it. Ben Shapiro has built an entire career on telling pleasant lies and being paid for it. They've started a media company where they make their own movies, conservative Hollywood, where they tell pleasant lies and get paid for it. They made woke Snow White, and it was lame and no one watched it, but they still got paid for it. They made Lady Ballers, the fake fucking movie about fake trans people, and they got paid for it. Pleasant lies make money. So the loss of trust in our institutions gets us. Yeah, this is the shit lefties have been warning about the country about for the hilltops of the last 12 years. Absolutely. College will make you not conservative, because conservatism is based on belief, not fact. So if you go to a college and learn facts, you won't be conservative anymore. The conservatives for the past 20 years ago, they used to bitch and moan about it. I mean, even 20, 30 years ago, my kid went off to college and came back a liberal. They went to college with them liberal professors, and they came back with blue hair and pierced tongue and told me that capitalism was bad. They went to a college and then came back and told me they don't want to be a goddamn coal miner no more. They don't want to dig into the ground and pull up ancient burned trees that we burn to spin a turbine. They tell me there are better ways. Conservatism is a backward-facing ideology. It always has been. It always will be. It can't look forward, because looking forward would require you to learn stuff and know things. All they have is belief about the past. They believe the past was better. They believe that the past was fairer and had less crime. Doesn't matter that the crime stats show them the exact opposite of that. There is less crime today than there was in the 80s, but they don't believe that. They feel like there's more crime today, and the conservative media needs them to feel that, so they tell them that. Fox News tells them everything is worse today than it was when they were young, because they want that feeling among them. Conservative media controls the feelings of the conservative people, intentionally, willingly, to make them fearful. Think of all the millions of evil motherfuckers make just by being evil motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. That being evil makes more money. Being a liar is way more valuable. People will pay you for that. And yeah, the fascists idealize the past, even if it's not true. They don't. I mean, the actual Nazis, they were the Aryan people of Iran. The fuck? You're in Germany, not Iran. Aryan means of the Aryan plain, which is in Iran. It's an imaginary, idealized past. It doesn't make any sense. Did you know some congressmen can live up to 500 years old? I had no idea. Are you talking about what's his name? The turtle? Mitch McConnell? He is almost 500. I would believe that. So here is what the person who graded Samantha's paper said. Please note that I am not deducting points because you have certain beliefs, but instead I am deducting points for your posting a reaction paper that does not answer the question for this assignment, contradicts itself, heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class, and is at times offensive. While you are entitled to your own personal beliefs, there is an appropriate time and place to implement them in your reflections. I encourage all students to question or challenge the course material with their empirical findings or testable hypotheses. But using your own personal beliefs to argue against the findings is not only this article, but the findings of countless articles across psychology, biology, sociology is not best practice. This is sensical. This is logic and fact being disregarded. This is factual. This is logical. This is reality. And they reject it. Conservatives reject reality anytime they can. Anytime it is valuable to them to reject reality, they do. And it's here. Mel Kurth here, she, they, is spitting facts and logic, and that is not allowed. She, theys are not allowed to spit facts and logic. And if they do, it's fake news, and the conservative media spin machine will shit all over it. And that is the danger that we have going forward. That is why I'm worried about the future of the country. The real things are going to be abandoned. Reality will be left behind. It will be left in the dust. No one will pay attention to it. And the only thing that will exist is politics. Because guess what? It's spreading. Texas A&M, a different college in Texas, not Oklahoma. Oklahoma is the one we were talking about. But now it's going to Texas as well. Declines to reinstate fired lecturer despite faculty panel's findings. So it's spreading. Vice Chancellor upheld the firing of Melissa McCool, seen in a viral video being confronted by a student on her gender identity teachings. Says the termination was done with good cause. So if you talk about the things you're not supposed to talk about, the conservative grifter class will fight you and bring attention to these professors. Get them fired, so that the school no longer teaches anything verboten. Conservatives are preventing you from learning. Conservatives are preventing people from learning things. They are censoring the colleges. It's the exact opposite of what they've always said that they would do. Conservatives always cry and complain and whine away. Those liberals are censoring my bullshit. Yes, because it's bullshit, you idiot. Lies should be censored in the halls of fact. College should teach you real things, not bullshit. So when you bring bullshit to a college, they should kick you out. They should shut you down. They should censor you because you're a goddamn liar. But no, lies get to be truth now under the conservative because it makes them feel good. Conservative feelings are now the thing that colleges need to be teaching. Colleges now have to avoid stepping on the delicate sensibilities of conservative people because they will run to the conservative media, they will run to the grift sphere and cry. And then that college professor will lose their job. They will lose their career, and conservatism will have another win under its belt. Conservatism is no longer an ideology. It is a mental disorder. You have to believe rather than know. You have to be delusional, or else you will be excised from their movement. You must be in psychosis, or else they will chase you out. And it's only going to spread, and it's only going to get worse. I don't have a good ending for this. It's not good. Maybe, okay. Change that. Change your mind, Waldo. If you want to be anti-conservative, know things, learn stuff. That's what I would say. That's my message to everybody. Know things, learn things, and you will be defeating conservatism. Do not let their feelings overpower you. When they are wrong, tell them they are wrong. When they are spouting opinions, tell them that's just their opinion, man. Reality can be a very powerful tool. It takes a lot of work and effort to overturn reality. In fact, it always kind of comes back eventually. The minute they slack, the minute they rest, reality will overtake them. So be a realist. Be a real one. Appreciate what is real, what is true, and look for that stuff. And don't let their feelings stop you. I own nothing and I am not happy. Yeah, dead inside. Poor guy. And that's a capitalism's fault. So don't agree with them. Don't let them control your thoughts. Recognize what is a belief, what is a fact, what isn't, what is an opinion, what is reality. Recognize these things. Pay attention to them. Keep paying attention to what they're doing and how they're lying to you. Know what is AI, know what isn't, and you will be a step ahead of most of the normies in this country, most of the normies in the world, who are controlled by their beliefs, controlled by their feelings. Because all politics are based on feelings, all of them. They always have been, and they always will be. So what else do you want to talk about today? Let's look at... We're apparently bombing... Completely different subject, but apparently we're bombing Nigeria? What the fuck? The president of peace, Donald Trump, is bombing Nigeria. I know, surprise. He said... The president said, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing the Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians, warning the Nigerian government better move fast. First of all, the president doesn't get to declare war. He doesn't get to go into other countries just because he fucking feels like it. Because they're hurting Christians. Christians are killed all the time in Russia. Christians are being killed in Ukraine. But he doesn't give a shit about that. Johnny is a bad guy. The things he's saying are horseshit. I thought he killed all of ISIS. Didn't he tell me that he defeated ISIS? We did it overnight. It only took 3 weeks. I talked to the generals, and the generals said it would take 7 years. But then I got elected, and I went in there, and we got rid of ISIS in 3 weeks. And yet here is ISIS attacking people again. Johnny, I think you're a liar. I don't think you beat ISIS at all. But he's attacking other countries, and they actually did bomb something in Nigeria because of this. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said, yes, sir, the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and anywhere must end immediately. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic State people. The president was clear last month. The killing of innocent Christians on Nigeria or elsewhere must end. Department of War is always ready. So ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for the Nigerian government's support and cooperation. We bombed them. We bombed another country. The president of peace bombed another country because some terrorists in that country were hurting Christians, apparently. It's horseshit. It's nonsense. Also, it's not a reason to go to war. Call the police. Give them supplies. Go there with police and help them to protect the innocent people. Innocent people are being killed in that country. Do some diplomacy and aid them in their law enforcement efforts. You don't just throw bombs around. That's fucking stupid. It's 12-year-old brain mentality. Donald Trump is 12 years old. Hey, there's some crime in D.C. Send in the army. Hey, there's some people being hurt in Nigeria. Bomb them. Hey, the Houthis are firing rockets at ships. Explode them. Send in all the planes, everything. Blow them up. Hey, there's something wrong with healthcare. Give the people the money. Okay, great job, you 12-year-old moron. He is a moron. The things he's trying to do are fucking childish because he has a child brain. Yeah, do some diplomat shit. Do some diplomatic shit. Go there. Figure out what the problem is. Why are they being harmed? Why are they being allowed to run around? Why are these radicals doing what they're doing? Do they need police? Do they need protection? Do we need to put things in place? What could we do? Instead of just bombing indiscriminately. Because that's what they did. They bombed indiscriminately. And guess what? It was worthless. It was useless. Here is, boom, the U.S. military said that its initial assessment that multiple ISIS members had been killed in the strikes of on extremist camps. However, residents who live there in Jabo professed surprise at the strikes, saying the bombs landed in empty fields, causing no casualties, and that Jabo has been relatively shielded from violence. The last attack by militants had occurred 2 years ago, they said. Video footage of Nigerian television showed pieces of burnt metal in what looked like farmland. One man told Arise News, the local television station, "Glory be to God that there was no loss of life." So we bombed an empty field and claimed victory. That is what Donald Trump did. He bombed an empty field, killed no criminals, and claims victory. A day after a part of a missile fired by the United States hit their village, landing just meters from the only medical facility, the people of Jabo in northwestern Nigeria are in a state of shock and confusion. Residents of this quiet and predominantly Muslim farming community in Chambwal district of Sokoto state told CNN he heard a loud blast and saw flames as a projectile flew overhead around 10 p.m. on Thursday. Soon after, it came crashing down, exploding on impact with the ground and sending the villagers fleeing in fear. "We couldn't sleep last night. We've never seen anything like this before." Kagara did not realize at the time, but what he was witnessing was part of the U.S. strike that President Donald Trump would later refer to as a Christmas present for terrorists. Hooray! I love it when the fucking president is a goddamn dipshit. Not long after the impact on Jabo, Trump declared that on Thursday that the U.S. had carried out a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS militants in the region, and he accused of targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. Not seen for many years, even centuries. Everything with him is the best because he has a child brain. He is 12 years old. His brain has atrophied, and he is too stupid. While parts of Sokoto face challenges with banditry, kidnappings, and attacks by armed groups, including Lakurawa, which Nigeria classifies as a terrorist organization due to suspected affiliations with Islamic State, villagers say Jabo is not known for terrorist activity and the local Christians coexist peacefully with the Muslim majority. We're just bombing people for fun and lying about what it is that we did, man. In Jabo, we see the Christians as our brothers. We do not have religious conflicts, so we weren't expecting this. We bombed an empty field, killed no one, yet Donald Trump goes on TV and claims to have killed all the ISIS members, even though he killed them all a few years ago. They must have sprung back up. They respawned, I suppose. At the checkpoint, they respawned. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. It's absolute fucking nonsense. He lies about what they did. He lies about what is actually happening. He throws a bomb into an empty field. Maybe the military even did that. It's not outside the possibility that the military knows he's a 12-year-old fucking idiot. And instead of bombing innocent people, they intentionally, willingly throw one bomb into an empty field, hurt no one, and then tell our idiot king that they totally killed 1 billion Islamic terrorists. And he believes them because he wants to. And then he tells the people on the news that he killed 1 billion terrorists, and it was him that did it, and he killed ISIS again because they respawned. And he saved all of our lives. And the people who support him believe it because they want to. That's what this all is. We just have cascading levels of believing nonsense because it makes us feel good. Donald Trump believes that the military bombed a whole bunch of ISIS people because he wants to, because it makes him feel good. And then the people who follow him believe it. J.D. Vance repeats it because he believes it, because he wants it to be true. The news people repeat it and they believe it because they want it to be true. And then I'm left here looking at an empty field that got bombed. Why would you intentionally, willingly lie to yourself? Why would you do that? Stop doing that. How do we convince them? How do we get to a place where cascading dumbass fantasies of violence? Yeah, exactly. The military isn't even playing anymore. They're just throwing bombs into empty fields and telling him that it was such a good attack. They did such a good job. You did it, Mr. President. Here's your lollipop. Here's a pat on the head. You did it. You sure are the strongest man in the world. The military jingling bombs and keys for Trump was a pretty funny image, though. Yeah, and will we ever get back to normal? This is an actual deep state, you know? Like, Donnie complains about the deep state, but there are so many deep states. There's the imaginary right-wing deep state there's an imaginary deep state that the QAnon told you about, where they have the cure for cancer and only the elites can have it, and they're drinking adrenochrome, and Hillary Clinton is actually the shadow president running the shadow cabinet. And that's one deep state. Then there's another deep state that is in reality, a little bit closer to reality. Med beds. Yeah, they got their med beds. Hillary's sleeping in a med bed every night. Then you've got your actual deep state. What it actually is people who work for the FBI for 30 years across 5 different presidents. That's an actual deep state. The people who work at the IRS for 40 years across 10 different presidents, and it's fine. That's the deep state. They keep their jobs and do whatever the current president tells them and have no specific political leanings. That's an actual deep state. And then we've got the other deep state that is the military ignoring the horse shit that Donald Trump says, ignoring the insane ramblings of Pete Hegseth and doing whatever the fuck they want anyway. That's slightly disturbing, but it makes me feel good that when Donnie finally does say fire the nukes, they'll tell him no. Or they'll fire one into a Siberian wasteland and no one will be harmed, and we'll tell him that millions and billions of Iraqis died, millions and billions of Islamic State fighters died. And then he'll cascade the bullshit. And I don't know how we survive as a society like that. If half of us are misinformed and half of us can't explain it to that half, we'll have an entirely misinformed voter base who think that Donald Trump killed a whole bunch of his Islamic State terrorists the other night. And then you and me and anybody who pays attention will know that he didn't. We have 2 completely different realities. One of them is real, one of them is fake. How do we survive as a society? How do we move forward if so many of us believe the nonsense, believe the horseshit, believe the med beds, believe that all these ISIS fighters died? Like, how do they survive in a world of reality? How do they exist? I don't know. It's weird. I see them existing because it doesn't matter. How many Islamic State people got bombed on Christmas? Doesn't matter to you doing your job tomorrow. Doesn't really. I mean, I'm going to go to work on Monday as normal. And it has no, if 100 Islamic people had died, Islamic State terrorists had died on Christmas, I would still go to work on Monday. If none died, I still go to work on Monday, you know? Is it even valuable knowing these things? I don't know. Is it of any value to recognize global politics? Is that anything that's worth anything? I don't know. Maybe it's not worth anything. Maybe it's of no value. Maybe I shouldn't be paying attention to it. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking about the horse shit. They live in the MAGA simulacra. Yes, simulacra. Yes, they do. Does it harm us? Does it harm me? I don't know. There was... I mean, that's a sci-fi question, I suppose. There was actually, what was it? Ghost in the Shell. The latest CG one that they had on Netflix, not very good. You shouldn't watch it. It's quite bad, in fact. But when it ended, that was the ending that they came to, is that the most powerful AI in the world tells you whatever you need to hear to get you through the day. And it builds and it tells you and it gives you a job. That's what the end of that show was. I don't know. It was very complicated and very hard to comprehend. But Ghost in the Shell on Netflix, CGI, very bad. Don't watch it. The ending, I'm spoiling for you, is that the AI is so advanced that it tells you and shows you whatever you want to see, whatever makes you feel the best. And when you feel the best, you work harder and you do your job. CG anime is bad, it's true. And then you build a thing. And then the AI tells me that I'm building communism for the benefit of the people. And when I go to work and I carry the rocks and I carry the things and I help build a structure, it's paid for by the billionaires. And we taxed them to build this thing for all the benefit of humanity. And then the guy right next to me, he's wearing a red MAGA hat. And the AI is telling him, hey, you're building this for the future of the white race. But we're both still building the same thing. Is that the AI future that we have to look forward to? Do we want that? Do we want the super AI to tell me that I'm building things for glorious Marxism, and then the guy next to me is building it for white nationalism, and all the brown people are whitewashed in his AI brain? His AI brain looks around the room, and instead of seeing brown people, he sees smiling white people. Do we want that? Is that acceptable? I think we give up our humanity in that situation. I don't like it. I don't like the idea that I can go online and find the reality that we bombed an empty field, and MAGA people can go online and find out that we in fact bombed hundreds and killed hundreds of Islamic State terrorists. I'm not happy about that. I would rather have one reality, even if it sucks. I don't know. Maybe the AI can take over all of this. Maybe the AI can do all of this stuff for us. And then all of your enemies look like bug monsters? Yeah, maybe. There's some sci-fi there. And that's why I don't appreciate it. They will change all of your, they'll change war into bug monsters. Instead of shooting at Chinese people, I'll be shooting at monsters with bug, what are these things called on a spider? The mandibles. Yeah. There's some sci-fi about that too, right? Where they trick you with LSD and drugs and stuff like that. And then instead of shooting people, you're shooting at bugs. Black Mirror. There was a Black Mirror episode about that. Yeah. Okay. Where they fill your, they tell you that the bugs let off evil chemicals. And so you have to wear your mask all the time, and your mask, you're actually just shooting at Chinese people, or you're shooting at Indian people and they're shooting at you and they think that you're a bug monster. Yeah. Okay. That's why we can't have the AI. See, KBP, you brought me out of my hopeful AI future. I knew it was going to be too good to be true. I knew that it was going to fail. There's always a Black Mirror episode. Yeah, exactly. So instead of the AI telling me that I'm building something for Karl Marx, and the guy next to me in his MAGA hat telling him he's building it for white nationalism, both of us will go to war shooting at Chinese people who we think are actually predators with their things. We'll think that they're predators, but they won't be. And that will be, and that's why we can't allow it. That's why we have to do the Butlerian jihad. That's why we have to kill all the AI. That's why we have to kill all the robots. Thanks for bringing us back to reality, KBP. I was almost ready to allow the AI to whitewash the racist people's eyeballs so that they can only see white people. Kill the clankers. Absolutely. That's where we are. And if you want to kill the clankers, you can do so on my Discord. You can go on over to the Discord right there. There it is. And copy link. And I'll put it into the YouTube chat as well. Go on over there, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. Go and leave links to fun stuff. There are fun people debating there every now and then. Leave memes. Look at photos of the baby Bark Boy in the Baby Bark Boy channel. Post photos of your baby Bark Boys. Did you dress them up in silly clothing for the holidays? Put some pictures there. I think we bought a new shirt for Bo. So we will put Bobo in his new shirt, and I will take a photo, put that up there today or tomorrow. And that is, do we want to, I had one more other thing to talk about today. Do you guys want to watch J.D. Vance do a racist speech, do some white nationalism? Let's do that. Let's keep making content. Let's keep going. Let's not quit. There's the Discord. Go on over there. Give me a follow. Go on over to the Twitch or the YouTube link and watch the old videos. If you ever miss a video, you can go over to the YouTube link and you can watch it there. Because I'll turn this stuff into YouTube videos and stuff like that. I'll put some chill bass beats underneath it, and then you can, and it'll have all the awkward bits chopped out. So let's watch J.D. Vance do some white nationalism. We're gonna put it at 1.25 speed though. So this happened the other day. I watched some of it. I saw some of the highlights, and he is definitely going to make a play for being the president. J.D. Vance, there he is. Jan Stance Vance, Jonathan Vance, bad guy, going to do some white nationalism. And
of the United States
right
of
off the
America.
bat,
For Charlie, we will speak the truth every single day. For Charlie, we will rebuild this United States of America to greatness. We will never cower, even when staring down the barrel of a gun. For Charlie, we will remember that it is better to stand on our feet defending the United States of America and defending the truth than it is to die on our knees. May our Heavenly Father give us the courage to live as Charlie lived. That is what we must do for Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
that was a sports montage, right? That was getting you hyped for the next sporting event. That's why people compare politics to sports these days, is because you have to hype it. You don't. Remember before the debate, they would the CNN showed those striking photos. They had you stand. They had the participants in the debate standing with black background and then light shining on their face, and then it played the song and then they came out on stage and everybody cheers, the epic sweeping music and fireworks now. And now we just do fireworks as normal. Like, he's about to get some fucking fireworks. He looks like he's a boxer. He looks like a WWE fucking superstar walking down to the goddamn ring. Look at him. He gets a theme song. He gets fireworks. He gets his own intro music. He gets a thing, lights in the background, like the fucking WWF used to. So we're going to put him at 1.25 speed, and we're going to listen to this because it is just some nationalism. And I'll stop every time he does something horrible. Where'd the audio go? There it is. Oh, they had to mute it because of the music. Because you can't play music. You can't play music on YouTube. So, sorry. You're not allowed. Music on YouTube is a sin. And he just gets all the fireworks. This is disgusting. This is horrible, you guys. This is a bad thing. You should not be cheering for this. You should be disgusted with this. You should be booing right now. He got some chicken legs. I never noticed either. He's on that.
Wow.
He's on that
How's
diet.
it going, Phoenix?
What's the name of that stuff? The GLP diet. He's on the GLP diet.
It's so good to be here with you all on this amazing day to close out an amazing AM Fest 2025. What an amazing crowd all of you are, and I have to admit, today solved one of the great insecurities that I had. Because as I've watched Nicki Minaj come out and declare her support for the truth, for courage, and for wisdom, I've had this little nagging voice in the back of my head wondering whether she thinks I look like the J.D. Vance meme. And it
Nicki Minaj was there. She's an actual moron, and she came out on the stage and said a bunch of stupid shit. I don't even think she's American. Is she? Is she from Trinidad and Winnebago? No, that's not it. Trinidad and Tabasco. Yeah. She's from Trinidad and Tabasco.
turns out, and I confirmed when she walked down the steps, Nicki Minaj actually knows what I really look like, and that is the best tribute that I could possibly imagine.
Drugging dudes and robbing them. Yeah, she's not a good person.
A note of gratitude. Erica, I cannot thank you enough for your strength, your grace, and your kind words of support for this administration and for me personally. You lead an incredible movement at Turning Point, and I will fight alongside you and President Trump and every patriot in this room to defend the country that we so dearly love.
He is going to support Trump until he doesn't, until he really does come for that 25th Amendment. This guy knows exactly. He's putting together a file of things and a whole bunch of evidence so that he can hit Trump with the 25th the minute he thinks that he can. The minute he thinks he can win and take over as president, he will. He has no loyalty towards Donald Trump.
And when I say that I'm going to fight alongside of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. He said...
What? He built it by lying all the time. Purity tests. Endless purity tests means fact-checking. Endless purity test means kicking out people who disagree with you because you're a liar. If he lies to one group and then that other group is like, dude, that's a lie, he'll take both groups in. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care if you disagree with each other and call each other liars. You're here for Trump, and he will tell you whatever lie you want to hear. Not to give you purity tests.
Says, make America great again, because every American is invited. We don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, young or old, rural or urban, controversial or a little bit boring, or somewhere in between.
They will deport you if you're not straight white Christian male. They're literally doing it.
People of every faith come to our banner because they know that the America First movement will make their lives better, and they also know that the Democrats don't care about anything other than maybe transing their kids.
They don't even, such a lame fucking excuse. Kamala Harris ran away from trans people. She did. She ran away from them during the last election because she didn't want to talk about it because it was controversial. This is imaginary grievance politics. He's so angry about this thing that isn't even real anymore.
So if you love America, if you want all of us to be richer, stronger, safer, and prouder, you have a home on this team.
And the way you get richer and safer and prouder is by deporting everyone with melanin in their skin. All those people have got to go.
I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform, and I don't really care if some people out there, I'm sure we'll have the fake news media, denounce me after this speech. But let me just say, the best way to honor Charlie is that none of us here should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. He invited all of us here.
He invited everyone here to lie to them equally.
Charlie invited all of us here for a reason, because he believed that each of us, all of us, had something worth saying, and he trusted all of you to make your own judgment. And we have far more important work to do than canceling each other. We have got to build, and President Donald Trump is a builder.
Building. He pays other people to build stuff. That's not a builder. And then he usually gyps them and shorts them and doesn't give them the money.
We're building a better
that
country
supposed
right
to give them.
now, and you have a rightful place in the success of your nation and the success of this movement. And we build by adding, by growing, not by tearing down. Charlie Kirk was a great builder too. He understood that any family can have its disagreements, its tough conversations. We can learn and improve and treat one another better. We can love each other despite the disagreement. But winning demands teamwork. And I'm honored to be on Turning Point's team. I'm honored to be on your team, and I will stay that way.
Boring, boring, boring. I know he said some stuff about some interesting stuff. As I saw a couple of the highlights, so maybe there's something interesting there.
There's still so much important work to do, my friends. We're barely a year into this administration, not even a year into the administration. But I'm so proud of the accomplishments of the president and the entire administration. In just a year, we ended Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's border crisis.
The border crisis that never existed. It's not real, man. Like, just
December
imagine
marks
things.
7 months straight of zero releases at the southern border.
Because we're sending them to El Salvador. We're sending them
More
to
than
Djibouti.
2.5 million illegal immigrants have left the United States, the first time in over 50 years that we have had negative net migration, and it's just the start.
I don't believe those numbers. I believe he makes those numbers up. And
When
the
you
people who
restore
count
sanity
work
at
for
the
him.
border, it shows up everywhere else. Rent prices are dropping 4 months in a row, and more native-born Americans are working than ever before. Kamala Harris opened the border and destroyed the economy. The Trump administration gave you net negative migration and much more job creation.
None of that's true. The job numbers are down, and if they are up, it's only for data centers, which are going to crash and burn.
Real wages are finally growing. Inflation is half of what it was under Democrats. Gas prices are their lowest in years. And we have finally made it clear that in the United States, we believe in hard work and merit. Unlike the left.
Hard work and merit. Motherfucker, you're hiring people who agree with you. Kash Patel did not have the merit to run the FBI. Pam Bondi does not have the merit to run the DOJ. They are morons, but they agree with you and they believe the same horseshit that you believe, so you gave them a job.
We stand against treating anybody, and I love what Nikki said about this. We don't treat anybody different because of their race or their sex.
You literally do every single fucking time. All the time.
So we have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs.
DEI is making sure that you're fair, and you don't like being fair. White people are better in your brain. Look at all the white people in that crowd.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
Nobody ever made you apologize for it, J.D. Vance. Nobody made you apologize for that. They have never done that. Nobody has ever done that. Apologize for being white. No, motherfucker. You do not understand what DEI is. You do not understand what woke is. You've never understood anything. When America wasn't fair to the oppressed minorities, they asked to be treated fairly. And you said no. The left said yes. all men are created equal, is what we were built on, but we weren't acting equally. We were redlining. We were keeping people out of certain jobs. We weren't allowing women to have bank accounts. We weren't allowing women to do whatever they wanted. We weren't allowing women to have certain jobs. We were paying them less. And if you had a funny name that was hard to pronounce, we didn't hire you. So the people in charge, the left-leaning people, the progressive thinkers, tried to make the world a more fair place, a more meritocratic place. But that meant that J.D. Vance and the white people in that crowd had to compete fairly. And this upset them. They did not want to compete fairly. They wanted benefits for being a straight white Christian male in America. They wanted to be a higher class citizen for the way that they thought that the country ought to look. They wanted privilege, and they didn't get it anymore. Everyone became equal. The white straight Christian men were here, and everyone else was here. And then as those people came up, and we started treating them fairly, we started giving them things that they were equal, and we started getting them towards equality, these people felt like they were under attack, and they had to apologize for being white. That's the part I wanted to get to. He's a lying sack of shit. The conservatives have never been meritocratic. They don't even know what the word means. They just know that they like it when they say it. Give everybody the job that they deserve. And white men deserve the most. So give them what they deserve. It's horseshit, it's nonsense, and it's bad politics. But that is all that exists anymore. Everything is political. All politics are based on feelings. And the feelings that this crowd has is that the brown people are taking things from them. The feeling that all these white people have right here is that someone is taking things away from them. And it doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if you can prove that it is incorrect. They feel it. They feel that it is real. And all politics are based on feelings. So that's probably where I'll end it today. It's about noon anyway. And I'm starting to doze off listening to him as well. He is running for president after Donald Trump. He is running for president now. As you hear him speak, he is running for 25th Amendment. He's running for taking over as Donnie continues to mentally decline, as his brain continues to fall apart and become more and more like mayonnaise every day. J.D. Vance will be there to pick up the pieces and say that he is in charge. He is the one who's running the place, and he is the rightful heir to the throne. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I've told you my predictions anyway. But J.D. Vance is a part of those predictions. He will be there. He will not leave. He is young, and he is going to be around for a very, very, very long time. So get used to it. Thanks for coming. Thanks everybody for showing up. Half of my viewers disappeared when I started playing J.D. Vance, so I'm going to stop doing that. Just kidding. It's about time for me to knock off anyway. I'm going to go eat some lunch. I appreciate everyone who's here. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for coming in on Crimbus. Thanks for being a part of the Christmas celebrations. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. I will see you on Wednesday. Maybe the robot will be done with her vacation, and we will get robots talking again in chat. Maybe not. I'm going to work on it. I assure you that I did not work on it at all the past week. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Messini. Thanks KVP. Thanks Jacinto. Philip G. Collier, very cool guy. Thanks for coming in on the YouTube. And that is it for me today. I will be back on Wednesday unless the Gestapo kicks in my door and drags me off to the gulag. Goodbye.